Hi, and welcome to Destination San Diego. I'm your host, Brittany Pierce, here to provide you with all kinds of inspiration for your next trip to San Diego. We're coming to you today from picturesque Balboa Park, the largest urban cultural park in the U.S., and home to museums, performing arts venues, and the world's famous San Diego Zoo. In today's show, we'll give you just a taste of what makes San Diego such a perfect destination. With a dynamic blend of art, culture, entertainment, and adventure, San Diego has something for everyone. Balboa Park, known as the Jewel of San Diego, is a work of art all on its own, but it's also home to more than 17 museums, and the options of things to see and do are almost endless. One experience you shouldn't miss is the San Diego Museum of Art. It's so much more than you'd expect.
If you're interested in art, this is the place to be. And even if you're not, you might be surprised by all the things that happen in the museum.
We're not just an art museum. That's why we have this great local restaurant like Panama 66 right here. We partner with local musicians. We want to bring the community into the museum to make it a living and dynamic art space. It's not just for people to come in and see art, but to interact and have a different growing relationship with art.
I'm an educator, promoter, jazz musician here in town, and being a partner with the San Diego Museum of Art and Panama 66 is really a dream come true. I have a non-profit jazz conservatory for kids that I started about 4 years ago. Having the Young Lions have their own series where they get to perform every Wednesday is really a blessing.
My band is Blue Train, and I am the vocalist in it.
If you love jazz and you love being outdoors in a beautiful park, then you definitely want to experience Panama 66 on a Wednesday night.
We do 2 really major exhibitions every year, and in addition to that, we have about 12 smaller exhibitions happening in the galleries and works of art that are rotating continually. The San Diego Museum of Art, always free for children and for school groups. Everyone under the age of 18 is free.
Every few months, the docents are retooled, retraining to see what the curators are bringing up from our vaults. So I don't have to travel to Europe to see these great works of art.
We always have contemporary art on view, so that's always interesting too, because it brings a context to the old masters and gives you a way in that you might not have thought of. And we have one of the best Asian art collections in America.
I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. My sister Mary visited the San Diego Museum of Art and told me it was an amazing place and that if I got a chance to get to San Diego, I had to come here.
We have Magritte, Dali, Tanguy, all the great surrealist artists. With the German Expressionists, we have some really important women German Expressionists too. Gabriele Munter, a very early Otto Dix from 1914. We have some of the great old master paintings that you'd be really surprised to find here, including works by Giorgione. And actually our Giorgione portrait is considered the Mona Lisa of San Diego, which is really nice. And we have works by Fra Angelico, El Greco, some of the real great old masters of Italian and Spanish painting.
The museum is really proud to be able to exhibit these pieces of augmented reality to all of our visitors here at the museum. So as long as you have the San Diego Museum of Art app, you're able to just walk up to the paintings with an AR symbol and you can access these really interesting animated experiences. We're really excited to be able to let visitors experience art just through a new and playful way.
Art After Hours is an amazing program. Admission is free for all college and university students. It's $5 for the general public. And between the hours of 5 and 8 on a Friday, the galleries are open. There's also free jazz music in our cafe, so there's a lot to enjoy on Friday night.
If you're in San Diego, you need to stop in and see this museum.
The San Diego Museum of Art is one of my favorites because there's always a fresh and interesting way to participate. There are so many world-class museums in Balboa Park, it may be hard to choose which ones you want to explore. The absolute best way to get the most out of your park experience is with the new Explorer Pass, which gives you access to the park's museums with one ticket and at a great price.
Balboa Park is a very unique place. It's the largest urban cultural park in the United States. It's a National Historic Landmark. There are a ton of outdoor recreation opportunities, but also more than a dozen museums, cultural institutions, performing arts venues, and so there's a real vibrancy and diversity to the location. So the Explorer Pass was a collaborative program created by several of the organizations in the park. It was a way that was convenient for visitors to visit multiple venues with one ticket.
The very first thing you see when you come inside the San Diego Air and Space Museum is a replica of Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis. The second most iconic thing you'll see is the actual Apollo 9 command module. It flew in space just a few months before Apollo 11 landed on the moon in July of 1969.
And we find that people who buy the Explorer Pass will end up visiting multiple institutions, and that's really unique in this one venue here. The revenue from the pass sales go back to the individual museums you might visit.
The Explorer Pass is so important to us because it allows San Diego families to buy the pass and come in and visit us year-round.
There's always so much to see here at Balboa Park, so getting this pass is super awesome because it's a great deal and you get to visit all the museums, see a new exhibit that comes out. There's always something new in the park.
Well, here at the Fleet Science Center, we are the science center in San Diego, and we are a completely hands-on space. So whether you're 5, 55, 105, there's some incredible science for you to come in, get involved with, get your hands on, and have a great time with. Balboa Park is an absolutely amazing place. There's no place else like it in the world where you can have all of these incredible cultural organizations literally within walking distance.
The San Diego Model Railroad Museum has indoor and outdoor exhibits as well as educational programming. Our mission is to research, collect, preserve, and present the heritage of American railroading with scale models of California railroads. At every twist, turn, and tunnel, we spark curiosity by developing educational programs that include educational milestones like critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. Visitors can explore our Centennial Garden, a G-scale garden railroad modeled after Balboa Park, how it existed in 1915. The exhibit is solar powered and the plants are all drought resistant. The Explorer Pass has exposed us to visitors of Balboa Park that may have not known that we are here since we are located downstairs of the Casa Balboa Park building.
The Explorer Pass is a great deal for visitors from across California or even across the world. It gives you access to all of the museums in Balboa Park and the San Diego Zoo, so it's a really good value.
What a perfect way to explore everything the park has to offer. You can get Explorer Passes for one day or up to a full year, and there's a special rate for families. Stay right there. When we come back, we'll show you a couple of different ways to experience culture in San Diego. There are more than 400 different species of trees growing in Balboa Park. Welcome back. You know, Broadway shows have a certain status for a reason. They're the best. Luckily, you don't have to go to New York to experience a world-class performance. In San Diego, you can spend your day at the beach and see a Broadway show at night.
Broadway San Diego is a local arm of the Nederlanders, which owns and operates 9 venues on Broadway in London, LA, Chicago. They've been doing this for over 100 years and have an incredible reputation in this industry. We've been presenting Broadway in San Diego for over 40 years, and now the road from Broadway to San Diego is actually shorter than it's ever been.
We have a lot of people who come from Tijuana over to San Diego and they're able to enjoy the theater and vice versa. And it's just a really nice way to bring different communities together in all walks of life.
We want to make everything from the moment you buy your ticket to the time you drive off and you're sharing stories about what you saw that night. We want to make it easy, we want to make it simple. It's important to us that we bring people together to experience live performances.
Well, they can get their own drinks. Ha! The San Diego theater community can have a family experience, can learn about the theater that they're going to. It sets us apart from other markets, other cities.
I wanted to be able to introduce my son to the great imagination that theater can provide you.
We recently heard a story of a young lady who attended Wicked at the San Diego Civic Theater with her grandmother, and she knew that night this was a field that she wanted to pursue. And now that young lady, Mariah Rose Faith, is going to have a full circle moment of her own when she performs on that very stage in Mean Girls.
It's so fetch.
Stories like Mariah's are important to us because we understand the importance of developing young audiences. And that is why programs like The Kids Not on Broadway is so important to us.
I kind of learned that a lot of dresses you could buy if you were like a millionaire.
Any ticket holder on a Friday night can come an hour before the curtain, and we meet on the upstairs mezzanine, and I talk about the show, and I tell them different histories about the show or about the playwrights or the composers.
Broadway San Diego Awards celebrates excellence in high school musical theater. We take the top 20 in our county and host a Tony Awards style competition. It's an incredible program, and we're just thrilled to be part of it. It's important to us that we bring the best of Broadway to San Diego, and we're fast at work already for another exciting season, and we still have some really great shows lined up to come. That includes Dear Evan Hansen, Disney's Frozen, and we're really thrilled to bring Come From Away back to San Diego as a Tony winner, and that started right here at the La Jolla Playhouse.
And if we do return to you, we'll make your cradles rock. Heave away.
It's different than just going to see a show that's touring through. It feels like it's yours, and Broadway San Diego makes that very special for us.
There's always something exciting to experience with Broadway San Diego. If it's local culture you're after, head over to the heart of Barrio Logan, one of San Diego's emerging arts districts. At the base of the barrio and under the Coronado Bridge, you'll find the largest collection of Chicano murals in the world.
The awe-inspiring murals of Chicano Park are like giant mirrors of Chicano Mexican history. In 1970, Barrio Logan's residents claimed the park space as their own through protests. The protests led to painting, and the colorful murals tell the story of struggles and triumphs. Mario Torrero was one of the original muralists and continues to be involved in the park.
After we took over the Chicano Park, we kind of knew immediately that this place would be a wonderful place to paint up, because that's what we do as painters. We felt that this was a continuance of that struggle for self-determination and seeking justice, but at the same time beautifying and changing the world. Imagine this without the art anyway, you know, it would just be, as a matter of fact, not so nice because it's underneath a bridge. But now it's almost, it feels like it has an eclectic feeling of a temple almost, you know, it kind of goes with our Mayan, Aztec, and Inca background. Chicano Park has given us a sense of participation. It keeps us alive because we keep painting and we're active. It's a work in progress. So we're not just living on our past, but very much in the present. Barrio Logan now is an arts district, so it has really revitalized and re-energized us. When people come from around the world on national to visit San Diego, they get a taste of the Mexican, Latino feeling by coming to the barrio and seeing Chicano Park. So it's not just a Chicano thing, but it's a San Diego thing.
The murals of Chicano Park are both beautiful and inspiring. When we come back, we'll show you an easy way to explore some of the many interesting regions just outside of San Diego. Stay right there. The first person to drive across the Coronado Bridge when it opened in 1969 was then California Governor Ronald Reagan. Welcome back to Destination San Diego. With so many things to see and do in the region, San Diego is an ideal launching spot for day trips. Sometimes the best way to take a road trip is to get on the bus and let someone else do the driving.
I like the fact that everything's all planned out for you. You don't have to drive, and we've gone to places that we wouldn't go if we were just like on our own.
I started DayTripper Tours around 33 years ago. I was a bus driver at the time and started by offering a tour to the Price is Right TV game show about once every 2 or 3 months. 33 years later, it has evolved into this organization that operates hundreds of trips every year. And in this office building, we employ a staff of 14, plus there are about 20 tour managers that accompany every tour.
We've done probably close to 100 trips, including day trips and overnighters.
We've had so many good trips and seen so many interesting things.
We just did Laguna Art Festival, which was wonderful this year, really a good show. We've done overnighters to Sequoia, Yosemite, Grand Canyon. Those are always planned so well. We never have to worry about the hotels, food, anything.
We do trips pretty much anything that is of significance in Southern California, such as the Rose Parade, Ronald Reagan Library, Catalina Island, Mexico wine tasting, the Lobster Village of Puerto Nuevo. If you can think of it, there's a good chance that we've either done it or do it currently.
What's truly unique about DayTripper Tours is that we aren't a bus that just takes you from point A to point B. We are a full package, and we make sure that our tours hit what we call the 3 E's. They need to be engaging, educational, and entertaining.
This Master Tour Planning Board gives the staffing here a visual representation of the tours that are coming up. And every magnet represents a bus or a plane going somewhere. Each magnet is color-coded to give the staff here an idea of where that particular tour is in the planning stages.
We encourage the singles to come on out, and we have several individuals that are wanting to travel and finding a friend or possibly a loved one if that happens.
I like a lot of off-the-wall places that most people don't even realize exist. My traveling, the last trip was to Tucson and to the Saguaro Desert.
I've been traveling with them for 25 years, and I've taken at least 250 trips, and obviously I like it. I have a lot of fun. I see a lot of things. I like to go places I haven't been, and it's an adventure for me. I enjoy it.
DayTripper Tours offers hundreds of single and multi-day excursions every year, from San Diego to destinations throughout California and the Southwest. Your only responsibility is to enjoy. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll take you to a real-life magical garden. San Diego County has more organic farms than any other county in the nation. Welcome back. If you're looking for an interesting destination without a crowd, a short drive north of San Diego, you can find a magical, enchanted space just waiting to be discovered and explored.
They're on an adventure, Debbie Adamski and her out-of-town guests.
She says, let's go see something different.
I've known it was here for a few years now and have never been.
A small sign screams, no big deal. The walk even less revealing. And then...
Whoa.
I know, isn't it great?
Through a maze, you leave the real world behind.
Let's take your breath away.
And enter a world of whimsical totems inside a circle of serpents.
They just scream out to be touched.
The smooth surface of polished stone, 30 types from around the world, 70 kinds of glass, thousands of tiles, and not a single do not touch sign.
It's very sensory. It stimulates your senses to see so many different kinds of materials and shapes.
A gift, literally.
Every single thing that you see here was paid for and built by Nikki.
Nikki de Saint-Phal, the famed French artist whose work is found in Balboa Park and around the world. Sadly, the art materials she used caused her emphysema. She spent her final decade in La Jolla and set her sights on creating Queen Califia's magical circle in Escondido.
I watched her talk to city council people about this, and she just pulled everybody into her dream.
She and her artisans built much of it in a local warehouse and trucked pieces to Kit Carson Park. Nikki died at 71. Her garden opened a year later.
It was sad and glorious at the same time because her dream was fulfilled. We just missed having her here.
The 9 totems she intentionally did not name, but the woman atop a majestic eagle, that's Queen Califia, a mythical character who ruled a magical island. It's believed she inspired the naming of California.
Quite a surprise.
So is finding the artist's handprint and the absence of a crowd.
She wanted it to be a sense of discovery and excitement that all of a sudden you come upon it.
And no ticket booth.
You need to see it in person.
Admission is free.
It really feels like a magical place. Well, that's all we have for you today. To keep up with me and everything happening here, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see this and all of our shows, plus special bonus content. I hope we've inspired you to start planning your next trip to San Diego so you can explore America's finest city for yourself. Thanks for watching. I'm Brittany Pierce, and I hope to see you soon in San Diego.